Ah, the masked farmer. Oh, look, I got myself a new helmet. Look at this, Oregon. So I bought this the other week. It's a new chainsaw helmet because the old one was really, oh, I can't hear you now. The old one was rubbish. The earmuffs were all knackered. I think they got an expiry date on them. The old one was about 20 years old. So I bought this. I got a little bit of time to do a bit of chainsawing today. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Look at that behind, that old girl there. And there's the new girl there. I'll just tell you a little bit about this. Just spin the camera around and I'll show you. Alright. So this, believe it or not, is a Morgan Sweet apple tree planted by my great-great-grandfather. Or could it be the great-great-great-grandfather? I think it's great... Yeah, it's great-great-grandfather. Or is it? I get... Do you know, there's so many generations of Cornocks here, I get confused. Anyway, pretty sure it's great-great-grandfather. In 1838, New Orchard was planted here in 1838, believe it or not. And this is one of the last trees in it. There are two left. There's one on its side over there. That's really, oh, I'll zoom in. That one's really on its last legs. And then there's down there is one pear tree there. Can you see that? The pears always seem to last longer. This one blew down. Look at it, it's a lovely bit of wood. It blew down about 4 or 5 years ago. And do you know what? I've left it here all this time. There's no amount of time to deal with it. And when it first blew down, it was covered in bark and lots of twigs. And the twigs have all gone. The bark's all gone, but I mean, I'm fascinated to see the beetles in it already attacking the wood. They were probably attacking it before because it was half dead for a long time. And it's quite smooth. Do you know what? It almost seems a shame to cut it up. I am going to cut it up because it makes good firewood. But do you know what? It's like I say a living sculpture, a dead sculpture. Look at it. That's quite awesome. I don't know. What a fool I am. I appreciate things like that just for what they are. A lot of people would just say, burn it. And I will be. But, you know, it's got its own character, hasn't it? Anyway, so just before this tree blew down, we took a cutting off it. And I got someone to do 2 grafts. Now, here they are. Now, these are 2 Morgan Sweet trees grafted off of that tree there. Oh, that one's gone a bit wonky. Oh, wow, I didn't realise that. It's not staked. It was staked, I'm sure it was staked. That one's all right. That one might have to put a stake in on that. Look at it, it's gone over. Or maybe it'll just be all right, leave it. I need to prune it. Don't want to lose it. So I got a chap to graft them. So the same person who supplies the trees, the apple trees in the rest of the orchard, I got him to take 2 grafts off this and produce some Morgan Sweets off that. And the interesting thing he wasn't selling Morgan Sweet trees, but he is now. And I think that's because he probably got some more grafts, all the grafts, and kept some for himself, which is absolutely fine. So we do have Morgan Sweet trees to replace them. You can Google that. It's an interesting tree to look at. Morgan Sweet. It's a sort of cider, yellowy apple. Looks a bit like a Golden Delicious, actually, if you're going to say anything. Right, anyway, hence I'm down here now, is I'm going to start cutting this up. So I'm not going to do a lot. I haven't got the big chainsaw, I've got a little Diddy chainsaw. There it is. So I'm basically just going to come round and start taking some stuff off. And I'm going to put the bits in a dumpy bag. The biggest mistake I've made in the past is I've just left the logs here and then they sort of tend to go into the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a bit over the next few weeks or whatever, whenever I get a chance. I'll nip down here for 10 minutes, half an hour, and I'll just do a little bit of cutting up. But the main trunk is the big one, that the big chainsaw Do you know what? I might leave the big trunk could wait there a little bit longer. There's no urgency to get that cut, but just tidy up this really. And if you're looking at this straggly tree, this is a walnut tree that we transplanted when we dug the lagoon because it was a bit close to the edge of the lagoon, but I don't know whether it's made it. It's a little bit dead on there. There were some leaves, you can see some leaves at the top, but I don't think it's doing very well. But do you know what? It's better than leaving it. The contractors pull it out, just left it on the side of the ground, and I thought we'll get that back in the ground. Right, let's crack on. Get chainsawing. Can you hear me, Clem Fandango? Anyone who watches Toast, you'll know what I'm on about. Right. Oh, this thing, the only thing about this is that the old helmet I had, they used to pop out like that. I haven't quite got the hang of it here. I think they go backwards. Oh. Where's Farmer P when you need him to tell me how this works? Ah! Oh well, you get the idea. Right, I'm just taking bits off at a time now. Don't get too greedy, because the thing is I've got to pick up what I cut. And what I don't want to... What time is it? What time is it, peeps? What time is it where you are? It is 15:34, so it's 25 to 4. It'll be getting dark fairly soon. I'm going to pick up some. Let's just have a look at the wood though. It is lovely wood. It's really hard. Look at that. That's a nice bit of apple wood, that is. I wonder if my wood turning friends want a bit of apple wood. I'll wood sniffing again. I might have a little chat with my wood turning friends before they do. But anyway, right, I'm going to put this into bags now. It's already really dry. I mean, it's got a high moisture content, I'm sure, compared with stuff that's been in the shed. But do you know what? I might even try and put a bit of that on the fire tonight, because it is really dry. Right, crack on. Crack on. Travis Perkins bag, always good for stuff like this. Now, if I was clever, what I would have done is brought some electric fencing stakes down with me to peg this out, and then I wouldn't have to flipping hold it. Oh, how annoying. look at these. These are just right. These are the ideal wood burner, or well, I got an open fire, but these are ideal, perfect size. Oh, sit down time. Let me just sit down. Oh, it must be the age I'm at. I like a little sit down between jobs. Do you like that? If I had a cup of tea, I'd have a tea break now. Let's face it, you need to stop every now and then and have a little break, don't you? Do you know what? The worst thing about this is that knowing that this is probably the last apple tree I'll cut up for a while, but I've got all the flipping ash trees that I'm going to have to cut up in the next few years. Looking around, I can see just 2 in this field. Yeah, so there's one over there. Let's have a look, spin round. So there's an ash tree over there. Very old ash, it's quite hollow in the middle. Used to have little baby owls in it. And there's an ash tree down there as well. Big lovely one, again a bit hollow. So the interesting thing about ash trees is that you notice is that they're kind of survivors really. Oh, there's a load of sparrows gone over. They're kind of survivors really. They don't sort of just die and keel over in the same way some other trees do. They'll live on a long time, even if they're hollow inside. And quite a lot of the ash trees we've got, I've got one down the field that's split like that. And every time the wind blows and you get gales, you think that's bound to snap off. It's split down the trunk, and yet it hasn't, which is amazing. But that one there's hollow in the middle. That one there's a bit hollow, but they just keep going, and then ash dieback. We'll have a look at it next year when that comes, because that's going to be scary Mary. The amount of ash trees I think we're going to lose on this farm. Scary Mary. I used to know a woman called Hairy Mary, but that's another story. We won't go there. Right, so... Right. Right, anyway, I'm going to cut up just one more lot, I think, and then I'm going to stack this under the tree. And right, I don't want to do that big one down there. I'm lazy. Let's do a nice bit up the top there. Let's do that bit there. Well, there's something wrong with my chainsaw. Let's take that off. Do you see that? absolutely lost all its power. Now I don't know what that is. I'll have to. I think, well, I've done pretty well today. I've got what I wanted to achieve. I don't know what that is. Now I was just thinking, there's a couple of options. The fuel I've got in the can might be stale. It could be old petrol, because we haven't done much chainsaw and brushwork all summer. So I'm not sure how old that petrol is, but it was gutless. Shouldn't be like that. I mean, I was losing power. I was taking it out of the wood. You might have spotted. I took it out of the wood and then it would pick up and then put it back, and it was just losing all its power. I was only thinking when I was using it earlier, I think, oh, I love this little chainsaw. It's pretty old. It's probably 30 years old. Lovely little chainsaw. And then suddenly it's playing up. So, well, at least it's the start of winter and not the end of winter, not in the middle of winter, so I can get it fixed, or if I need to get it serviced or something, and then go from there. Right, I'm going to pack up. I'm packing up with my old chainsaw. Right, I'll see you guys later.